So this weekend we're gonna remember we hit that with paint. It looked good at the time, but now it's dried. It definitely needs another coat, maybe another 2 coats. So we've got to do that. Okay. And something else we're going to tackle today is we're going to seal this. We've come up this far. We're at the end of this driveway now. Look at this. Do you see what the paint does? You get that. Sometimes you get patches. It's damp, or it doesn't seal, or it doesn't stick to it. It's very funny how, you know, painted on the same day, obviously doing the same thing, this sticks and it's fine, and this doesn't. So see, it takes a fine layer of sand to sticking to something. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to scrape this all off and we're going to seal it. See, we're going to seal this up, and then let that dry and then hit it with the paint. It just looks really grubby, doesn't it? It looks unloved. Funny, this side's all right. So we've got a choice of 2. We've got this stuff that we found, but I think that's just a glorified PVA, that is. Yeah, it did well on the floor, if you remember, on the garage floor in the back, but I'd completely forgotten about this one, where you can tell how much I'd forgotten about it. It's full. It's full and it's rusted away. I think this was more of a spirit based. It's sort of, does it say it's flammable? It smelled much more spirity, you know. So I'm thinking I'll try this, I think. See if it soaks in a bit better and seals it up. If it's any good, because I don't know if there's a tin, if there's a date on these tins, but it's been hiding away for a long time, hasn't it? So it might not even work now. It might be out of date, or might be compromised. Or it might have all turned into a solid at the bottom. You find that with old tins, don't you? So we'll have a bash on that. So, looking at this wall, being an well, we were called surveyors, but we were salesmen basically. We were Sovereign Chemicals. I don't know if it's still going. Damp proofing. So you see, rising. It's not rising damp because it's up here and it's dry down there, isn't it? Like the wall is leaking, and there's no salt on it. Because you get a lot of salt out of a wall when it's wet and damp, so it's not salty. What would be causing this here, sort of thing? You know, what's causing it here in the very same conditions? It's not causing it here. See what I mean? There's a cause to this somewhere. There's a cause to it, and the plaster is peeling as well. Was it down to the plaster? And what do? Do you plaster your walls? Do you see we put like a nice sort of pattern in it and painted it, or do you just go, because it's the shed, do you just paint the brickwork? I think we have had trouble with this in the past, and I've sealed it, and look, it's done the trick. This is great when you just paint straight onto the blockwork, but it swallows a lot of paint and it takes a lot of doing. It's much quicker, you know, if you've got a smooth surface to paint on, to roller on and all that. So where is this? Have we got a leak in here somewhere? Is the water getting into this wall? I wonder. Yeah, so in my life before I discovered trucks, before my HGV license, I used to spend a lot of time being a salesman, flogging stuff. And if you wanted to raise a guarantee, if you were a contractor using Sovereign Chemicals, you had to be registered, and you had to show a few jobs that you did it right, and then you could raise a guarantee on the job. And then I'd come along and I'd have a look at the job and make sure you'd done it correctly. They were following all the procedures, and then we would raise a guarantee on the job that you'd done, using the chemicals provided, or that you bought from the firm. Anyway, let me tell you a funny story. They used to do mainly damp jobs, rising damp brickworks. There's several ways of doing it. You can put electric current in it, you can put those drill holes and put it in that way. Sovereign was injected. You'd drill a hole, you'd use the machine and you'd pump the chemicals into the wall, and that would create you a damp proof, because either the damp proof coursing had failed or the damp proof coursing wasn't there in the old houses, especially in Wales. Well, anyway, and part of that was doing timber treatments in roofs, and they used to complain to me, Reggie, this stuff is awful stuff to work with in a roof space, blah 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 blah. And of course, by the time they'd used it and I'd come along and inspect it, the fumes and the badness and the rough conditions would have gone. Fresh air would have cleared it out. Anyway, this particular day, I turned up at one of my contractors at an address that they were working on, because we wanted to raise a guarantee. And right, come with me then, Reggie. So he stuffed me up into this attic. Couldn't breathe. They were applying this insecticide, this treating the wood inside the roof. Yeah, funny story. Funny story. Yeah. So I came along in my suit and told them what to do, but they were the boys on the ground doing the work, telling me all about it. But when I turned up, it was all okay, wasn't it? I never turned up on the day they were doing the work. Little funny story for you. So here we are, live and at the scene, opening this tin that hasn't been opened in years. Let's tip it in here. See what it looks like. Ugh. It's jelly-like. What the hell? I can sort of smell like a spirity smell. Hello? All right, Bubby. Okay. Ooh, I wonder. Let's throw that. Yeah, it does smell very spirity. There's spirits in that. I think that's better stuff than this stuff, than just PVA, in this particular application. So let's try it. Let's give it a bash, see what happens. Well, that's one. that's one way of ruining a bloody good brush. Plan B then. Well, I've put it on. It's gone on really well. It's all gone on almost like a varnish. So let's see. It should form a sort of a skin, and then hopefully the paint will stick to it, and that'll be the end of that. But we'll keep an eye on that, shall we? Let that dry and then hit it with paint.